Hi, my name is Edward Hagler. I'm a second semester grad student at North Carolina A&T. A little bit about me, I do research right now in social networking. And that's just dealing with how, you know, how everybody associates, like the website Delicious, how they associate tags with websites. And that's where my research kind of takes me. So let me ask you the question, where are you from, you know, your name, and what is your research involved?
My name is Tamera Rogers. I teach at Tennessee State University and in computer science department. My primary research love is robotics. I also do work in image processing and teach in the networking area.
Okay. Now, what got you into computer science as a child?
Probably my earliest childhood memory is plugging up a TRS-80 to the family TV and doing a little programming. My mother was and is an electrical engineer by training.
Okay.
So I was encouraged to follow whatever interests and opportunities were given to me. So that was sort of my first experiences.
Cool. Because let me see. So what is your research involved now in this day and age?
A human-robot interaction. So the technologies for processing when we get the speech or the identification, how can you make the robot know more about who it's dealing with and respond differently depending on who we're interacting with.
Oh, so you're trying to make robots interact with human beings a lot better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where do you see that research taking you in the next 5 years?
The objective of why I'm working on that is to work more on personal assistant robotics. Okay. And so ultimately, can we come up with a device that is going to be useful for providing care for people who maybe can't do as much for themselves. So maybe not so much the physical interaction, but at least the social and the mental stimulation and the social interactions. So.
All right. So do you see any other activities outside of your field that influenced you, like hobbies or anything like that, to take you into robotics? Because even as a child, you know, when I took that high school test to find out where you're going to be for the future, you know, mine said robotics, mathematician, and stuff like that based upon my personality. And I always thought robotics as a very interesting field of study, but really not seeing it too many schools in computer science. So how can more kids get involved about robotics if they really like it?
I think part of it is looking at what can be done and keeping their minds open to, right now, technology is not at the place where it is in the movies. Mm-hmm. Understanding what it's really going to take to get robotics to the next place, but at the same time having your mind open and dreaming and thinking about the fact that somebody's got to create that technology. And at this moment, what's going on 15 years from now has not been defined. Okay. A lot of times I tell students if they come to visit, especially if they're entering and thinking about college, that they're all familiar with text messaging, and 15 years ago, nobody thought about it. And some technology individuals had to come up with that idea, and they could be the people who come up with that thing 15 years from now that nobody's thought of yet. Okay. You know, so to keep your mind open, to keep the spark going and realize there's a lot out there. Don't feel limited and boxed in by what you can see today.
Okay, so as you see graduate or undergrad about to get his degree in computer science, what would you say to encourage him to go on to get his master's or even his PhD?
Well, I would ask what they want. What do they see? Where do they see, if they could pick the dream job, what would it be? And if they could pick the dream life, what would that be? And that might be beyond, it might be sort of what you were mentioning. What are some of those things outside of computer science that you might be interested in? What are some of those things that, because computers are everywhere, yeah, and they can be used as, you know, if you think about computing as tools, as a background for something. So where is your interest? Where's your passion? And can you apply what you're good at with what you love? For some people, that's always the exact same thing, and some people it's not. Sometimes you can put those together. And just think about what it is you want to do. Not everybody wants to go to graduate school, but at least they should consider it.
All right. I say thank you for this little time and interview. I hope someone out there finds all the information that you provided very helpful to pushing them towards to do research and other areas in their life. Just to, in one word, let me ask just one last thing. One word, what would you tell somebody that has discouragement in their life? What would you tell them to do? And I mean that discouragement as in classes being a discouragement sometimes.
In terms, you mean coursework?
Yeah, coursework, I mean. Like, would you find the coursework, like, in the major of computer science, everybody says, like, some of the courses are very tough. But do you feel that accomplishing that toughness is what makes you a better person in computer science or engineering?
It can. Some things you just have to get through. Some things are stepping stones. Sometimes this tough stuff really does help you do what you got to do in the future. Sometimes it just builds character. Sometimes you have to suck it up.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.